what's going on? A lot of questions I get about arm exercises. I'm going to give you 3 tips that if you focus on these 3 tips for a few weeks, you'll notice some growth in your guns. All right, number 1 is less sets, less reps. Slow the repetition speed down, mind-muscle connection, go to absolute failure or the 2 or 3 repetitions that you never thought you could get. And stay safe. Get those last 2 or 3 reps and eke it out. I'll demonstrate a couple movements here of my favorite. 4 different exercises, 2 to 3 sets max. I usually can get it done in 1 or 2 sets. 1 time per week. Work your arms, maybe 3 or 4 days later, work them a half a time. What do I mean by that? I mean hit some different exercises that are a little bit lighter and you squeeze and feel higher rep range. That's working your arms 1.5 times per week. If you're a drug-free for life, hormone-free for life athlete, you cannot work body parts twice per week. If you do, you can do it for only 2 to 4 weeks. Maybe your arms you can, but chest, back, legs you cannot. So, number 1, less sets, less reps, but more quality. It's not how much weight you lift, it's how you lift it, okay? Number 2, more carbohydrates. Do me a favor. Before your weight training session, 1 hour, have powdered protein in the 20 to 40 grams per range and a banana and a piece of bread. 1 hour before and 15 to 30 minutes after, the same thing. If you got a fast metabolism, go ahead and throw in a cup of white rice an hour before that pre-meal and an hour after that post-meal. More carbohydrates. Think of the carbohydrates. The starchy carbs is the fuel for, it's the fueling station for your race day. All right? Number 3. And the last thing with growing arms is we're going to stretch and isometrically pose like a bodybuilder and work those babies isometrically and squeeze and feel. I'll demonstrate that at the end. Does a few things. It finishes the body part off with a unique squeeze that's different than weight training. Bodybuilders know after the day after a competition they're really sore, and it's a unique soreness that you can't get from anything but besides isometric posing and squeezing. It's a great workout. Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say the only way he would change his body and make it better for a stage day the last week was not by weight training. They'd weight trained a whole year for that show. Out in the sun, they would pose and squeeze and not do weight training that week. That's what will change the body. So that's the 3 things. In recap, more carbohydrates. Number 2 is less sets, less reps. Less weight, more quality repetition, last 2 repetitions to 3 repetitions to complete failure, getting the last 2 or 3 reps you'd never get, and number 3, posing and squeezing. So here we go. Here's just a couple demos of a couple movements that I really like. Seated, 1 arm, overhead extension. Get that elbow nice and close. I'm a little heavy here, so I'm going to give myself a little bit of an aid and squeeze. Raise this elbow up just a smidgen on the descent. Keep that pinky head a little bit higher than the thumb. I'm raising my elbow up a ½ inch, or at least I'm just trying to. 2, 1. Get in there, feel it, squeeze it, get a stretch. Squeeze it through the ceiling. I'm going to go 2 more. Duck your head down a little bit so you can bring that dumbbell and hand real close to the back of the head. Straighten it out best you can at the end. Last 1. And 3. And 2. Little micro reps I call them. Go. Go. You can give yourself a self spot. I come out of it like that. Just to the shoulder. So that was 40 pounds, a little bit heavy for me, but this is near the end of my arm workout. So that's a seated dumbbell overhead. Now I'm just going to do a regular cable. I'm going to share something with you. Okay, so most people know the regular cable is here, tear, and a slight pause. I'll do a few reps like that. Down and tear. A little bit above parallel to the floor right here. Tuck the elbows back into your body. Try to keep those elbows stationary the whole movement. All right, so that's the typical cable press down with a rope. So when you're done, when you get to failure with that, Stretch out your wrist, carpal bones, and your forearm on the top for 3 or 4 seconds. Do the same, muscles on the bottom. Stretch out that hand, shake them out, open them up, let go of some tension. Now you're going to do a different technique. You're going to push the base of the thumbs together, and you're going to push right out in front of you. You're going to feel your abs and your triceps differently. So I like doing drop sets and doing something a little different to stimulate the fibers in a different way. This is what it looks like. Breathing in. The timing of that breath is very important. This is almost as much of an ab exercise as it is a tricep finisher. Partials, 4. I call them micro reps. 3, 2. Ooh. Woo. So there's just a few ideas on some arm, bicep, tricep tech. Oh, just tricep, I'm sorry. But do the same thing for biceps that will give you some growth. I swear that if you implement these, throw the more carbs in, use these techniques, your arms are going to grow a ½ inch to an inch within 6 to 12 weeks. Working out less, but working out smarter. Comment below if you have any questions on how to personalize these techniques for you. You do have the power to change to make the rest of your life the best of your life.